Good morning. Welcome to what is going to be episode 1 of the bulking season, or I like to call it, or the cool kids like to call it, the growth phase. So today is officially sort of day 1. I started doing this growth phase probably about 2 weeks ago after the diet. Ran into some hurdles, as you know, with the binging, but that's life. It happens. You're not always going to be perfect, especially after, dieting for an extended period of time and having all of that hunger signaling and couldn't really control it. But not going to make excuses. I fucked up, but now we're back on plan. So yeah, this is sort of the official growth phase, and I'm going to take you guys through that step by step. I'm going to try post pretty much every single workout slash session in this. So however that may come across, it may not be, A grade quality. Oftentimes I have someone filming me, so it's obviously going to look a lot nicer, but this is just going to be raw, authentic, and just me yapping to the camera and taking you through the process. So extremely excited for it. I haven't really ever put in a good growth phase where all the variables are controlled properly. In the past, I would just eat as much as physically possible after cutting, which is a common thing because you are at such a hungry state. But the goal now is to keep it as tight and lean as possible, and that's going to reap the greatest results. So yeah, today's sort of officially day 1, and we're kicking it off with my push session. So only doing one sort of push session a week. The rest of the energy is being allocated towards growing my weaker body parts, which at the moment is my legs and my back. So we're having 2 leg days, 2 back days, 1 push day where I throw in some arms as well. So obviously chest and shoulders. But yeah, keen, really keen. My coach reached out to me yesterday and he was like, I don't know if you guys saw the video where I was discussing, calorie and carb cycling and stuff. And he reached out and he was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, fuck, of course this guy knows. But then I forget, I literally post everything on the internet. So it's like, obviously he's going to see. But we're back to the sort of basic structured diet where calories aren't being cycled, carbs aren't being cycled. We're just eating a consistent amount every single day. And that's going to allow us to have the most predictable data, make adjustments accordingly. And then eventually maybe there will be, carb or calorie cycling implemented. But for now, because we're so early in our growth phase still, it's probably ideal to just have all those variables a little bit more consistent. So that is sort of where I'm at. Made my little pre-workout, going to sip that in the car as I drive. Take my time in the gym this morning. I woke up a lot earlier than I usually do. It was like 4 a.m. I was probably 4:30 a.m. this morning, which is extremely early for me. Usually it's, that sort of 5:30, 6 o'clock mark. So I was like, fuck, I'm just going to get up and go to the gym. Part of me was like, I'm going to delay this as much as possible because I tend to be a hungry man. And, the earlier you eat and the longer your day is, the harder it's going to be to adhere to the food. But it's all right. We should be fine. Fingers crossed. I was also contemplating not having pre-workout with caffeine this morning. I was just going to do a pump formula because I feel like I'm an extreme caffeine addict. And when you're always in this stimulatory state, I have pre-workout before the gym and then I'll have another caffeinated beverage around or after the gym, whatever time that ends up being. And the more, I guess, stimulation you have throughout the day, the more your sympathetic nervous system is firing. Probably not ideal for, things like digestion and recovery. So that's something I want to try wean off slowly, but it's extremely hard, especially when you've done, other shit in the past or other substances in the past it's like caffeine's nothing. So I guess we're still progressing in that sense. I'm not doing the shit I was doing when I was partying. So caffeine's probably the least of my concerns, but it's still something I'd like to work towards. One thing I'm greatly benefiting from at the moment is just structure and routine in my life. I've always been someone that's struggled with having really solid structure. So putting things in place where day after day is very much similar is always going to reap greater results. It's you want to make your days pretty much like Groundhog Day. You don't want too much variability, not only from a performance standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. Once you have things locked in place, it genuinely allows you to not only become a better person of you physically, but mentally as well. As I've said in a few videos in the past, I'm probably in the best mental position I ever have been because I have a clear layout of my goals. I have clear direction. And once you have that, you become unstoppable in a sense. And I know it sounds cringe, but if whatever you're sort of chasing, for me, obviously now it's bodybuilding, propelling my social media and stuff. If your life is willy nilly and you you lack structure, think making those things possible is just going to be a lot more difficult. So make sure your life is as structured as possible. Make sure you have routines in place, habits in place. Some of them, for me, are bad habits, which I want to get rid of. But for the most part, I'm the most structured and routined I ever have been. So sleep is at an all-time high, even though I woke up really early this morning. Probably didn't have the best sleep last night either. But like I used to go to bed at, 11, 12 o'clock. Now I'd, I'd be, I'd be surprised if it's later than 10 p.m. most nights. So getting good quality sleep, obviously going to help with your performance, your cognition, things like that. Just setting these little things in place to make sure you're the most productive version of yourself. I'd be curious to know because obviously I have a little drive to the gym. I have a gym that's around 5 minutes away from me. This gym's about 15, depending on traffic, 15, 20 minutes. But I decide to make the trip or the drive every single time to this gym because it's better equipped. So for those out there, I've heard stories of people driving literally like 30, 40 minutes to a gym because it has better equipment. So yeah, as I said, I'm just sort of curious with you guys is convenience or is quality in your session more important? Because I understand both camps of the party. Like if you're an extremely busy person and you don't have the time to, drive 30, 40 minutes, going to your local Anytime Fitness or whatever, that's going to suffice. Obviously, if you're a lot more into your training and care about equipment and stuff like that, you're going to make the drive. So I choose to make the drive and I'll do that 10 out of 10 times. Train at a gym called Nexus Performance in the Gold Coast, which is, again, I haven't really spoken about the move to the Gold Coast just yet, but we can sort of touch on that now, actually. It's been a move that's honestly propelled my life in ways I can't even explain. It was always sort of in the picture for myself and my partner moving here. We'd frequently visit because her dad lives up here. So whenever we'd come down, we'd be like, okay, this is the place. I'm from a little town called Geelong, and there was just nothing happening there, like genuinely nothing. Everyone was sort of stuck in their ways, which is fine. If you want to party every single weekend and get blind just to escape the fact that you live in a little shit town, that's on you. But that wasn't where we foresaw our future. So we decided to take the leap. We sold our house, which we bought, in our early 20s, which was a massive accomplishment. And you could imagine how scary selling a house is when, you made this big investment at such a young age and everyone your whole life has told you, okay, buy the house, set up your life. And we put our foot in that door. But moving here, we decided to sell it because, it was going to be difficult to sustain all these things at once, particularly with the price of things up here and cost of living, etc. So we took the leap, and honestly, I have not woken up one day and been like, okay, we made a bad decision. It's genuinely all been positive. And that mentality shift is all you really need to propel you to that next level. Obviously made extremely good connections here. You guys been seeing, I've been training with Chris Limitless. He's an absolute wizard when it comes to business and just an extremely, extremely smart man. So also a really good person. A big part of the hindrance of wanting to come here for me was there are a lot of wankers on the Gold Coast, put simply. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat or anything. There's just heaps of fucking idiots, heaps of show-offs, heaps of people that want to pretend they have money when they don't actually have money. And I get it. It's whatever. If it makes you feel good. I'm not that type of person, so it didn't really resonate well with me. And it's a very fake clicky place sometimes, but that's sort of going to happen anywhere. So you really just have to find your circle of people, and I feel like I have found that as I've matured and aged. My tolerance for bullshit and shit people has really dwindled. I had a best mate for 4 years, 5 years, and it was just drama. It was like I was at fucking primary school again every single day, coming to me with his problems. And so, yeah, if you have a, low bullshit radar, you'll be fine. Just surround yourself with the correct people. Make sure people aren't zapping your energy. That's been a huge thing for me. I didn't really understand. I did understand, but it didn't really click to me how much putting energy into certain people that are toxic can actually zap from you. Like, if you're going to a place, even the gym, for example, I come here to forget about everything else, lock the fuck into my training, which is extremely important to me. If you're coming to the gym every day and people are coming at you with drama and just dumb bullshit primary school stuff, it's a massive energy zap. So make sure you allocate your energy to what actually matters. And I know that sounds like I'm not some fucking like crystal girl or whatever, but it genuinely is important. Making sure you have that energy to put into things you want to pursue, things that are important to you, my partner, my dog, my bodybuilding, my social media, my future. If people are taking that energy away, if I'm sitting here for 40 minutes talking to someone about, bullshit, drama and whatever, that's really going to hinder your progress. So that's something I've really realized. Energy is fucking crucial. So protect that shit. And I know, again, it sounds like I'm a crystal girl, but protect your energy. Yeah, protect it. All right, just finished our pre-workout. If you guys haven't seen in my bio yet, I have officially re-signed with OxyShred EHP Labs. So that's an extremely exciting partnership. I know when I stopped working with them, I said to you guys, it was nothing against the brand. It was just circumstantial for me at the time. Life was sort of spiraling in a negative way because I was getting overwhelmed with social media. I had these people zapping my energy and I just had no capacity to actually work with people because I was struggling myself mentally. So that ended. They reached out again recently and I've re-signed with them, which is really exciting because I really fucking like their products. Their protein's amongst like one of the cleanest on the market. I don't know if you guys look at the ingredients panel. Doesn't give me stomach discomfort. Yeah, use that. Obviously had their hectic pre-workout now. If you guys haven't tried that yet, pick that up. Yeah, really exciting partnership. The I don't even know what you'd call him, but like the social media manager is going to fly down to the Gold Coast, going to catch up with all the boys, shoot some content. But yeah, it's a really cool team, man. It's a really cool team. And again, like I said before, it's really important to find good people in the space. And I really have found that with, Lee from Keep That Pump. I don't know if you guys know him, but they treat me extremely well. Great company, and we've become like brothers. So yeah, really, really find people that align with you and are going to help you progress to your goals, not weigh you down. But yeah, we've just arrived at the gym for our push session. I'll show you guys a little tour of the gym. Probably not actually. We'll probably just get into our training, but we got a little. I might do like 5-10 minutes on the treadmill just to get the heart rate going a little bit. Obviously didn't walk my dog this morning, which I generally tend to do just because I woke up so early. I didn't want to make heaps of noise and wake up my partner. But yeah, we'll get in there. We'll get a juicy pump. Fucking extremely excited. I just want to fast forward this bodybuilding thing. It's tough with bodybuilding because it's not a sport where you can progress really fast. Muscle accrual is a slow process. So it's a game you have to be patient with, especially if you don't want your health to go to the absolute shit. Like I could blast, 1 gram a gear and I'm sure I'll explode, but I'm sure my health and my heart will explode as well. So not the best protocol, but yeah, it's a sport you have to be patient with, which is annoying for the position I'm in because I'm just introducing high anabolics and it's like, okay, I want to get to this goal. I know I've said pro card in my video. Obviously that sounds a bit woo-woo and it is like, it's not something I'm 100% confident in, but I don't know, man. I'm one of those people that it's like when I set my mind to something, I can fucking do it. So that's where my mind frame is at. And if it doesn't happen, whatever, but I'm going to give it a red hot crack. So yeah, I just want this shit to start moving. And it is, to be honest, if I stop eating like a fatty and remain insulin sensitive and my body's firing and I'm healthy, which I am. Keen to get my bloods in 2 weeks again, see what the 375 test is doing. I think my last results were like I had like 2,000 free test. Estrogen was at like 90. This is in Australian units. I know it's different everywhere, but that was on 250 tests. So my assumption is that it's going to be, I don't know, somewhere in the high 2000s. Estrogen maybe around that 150 mark. I've gotten a little bit fatter now, so we'll see. But yeah, that's where we're at. Let's get the fuck in here for our push session. I'm keen as. I feel really good today, which is surprising because I woke up so early, didn't have the best sleep. It's funny how that happens when you don't sleep, you feel great. When you have like a shitty sleep, wait, maybe I didn't sleep. I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. But yeah, let's get in there. All right, boys. Obviously, I was talking about in the car how good I feel today. That's not going to happen every day. So importance is not relying on motivation, because some days I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I'm ready to kill it. It's just making those habits, like I spoke about before, having that discipline to do, even when you're not necessarily feeling your best. Because I'm not going to feel like this every day. It's rare that I feel like this. It's literally one in like 10 days, if that. So every day is just a matter of creating those habits, coming in, doing it anyway. And that's going to fucking compound over time, and you're going to get to where you want to be. So discipline, throw fucking motivation out of the window. You can read and watch as much David Goggins as you want, bro, but no one's coming to save you. All right, we have new addition to the program, which is this sort of incline press with the cables. Really enjoying it, to be honest. Probably need to fix the positioning here, but nice to have a little new movement in the programming. Obviously, having it on the cables unilaterally is going to help with any imbalances you have, instead of having like a fixed path with the machine. Make sure you spend a good amount before your main sets, actually just priming, making sure you're doing the movement nicely, getting blood in the chest first. And that way, when you do your actual sets, you're making sure you're driving through that target tissue. If I didn't warm up properly, maybe some of these front sets might end up being something like front delt, because I'm not engaging that chest properly. So make sure you do a good amount prior to your first working set. Get that chest firing. But yeah, this is a fucking money movement. Really enjoying it. Got to be careful with this mic so close. People keep calling me out on my weird fucking noises I make when I train, which honestly are really weird. I don't know what my mouth does while I'm doing my movements. So what we've been doing recently is like a little priming set before a fresh muscle. So example, today, chest is the first thing I'm going to be training. So we're doing 4-set allocation. That first set is like almost like a bit of a harder warm up. Obviously that was still quite easy, but yeah, the muscle was still contracting well. I probably had like, let's say maybe eight reps there, but typically a little bit harder than I generally do a warm up. That's that priming set. Then we move into our 2 top heavy sets. Last set is a 25% reduction in load. And in that set, I'm really just focusing on, that squeeze, making sure the chest is taking 100% of the load. Whereas those other 2 top sets can be a little bit sloppier. Not bad form by any means, but a little bit sloppier. So we'll get into working set 1 now. By the way, how fucking fresh is this jumper? As I said before, keep that pump. If you want to cop, code Tanino. I really appreciate everyone that uses it. Genuinely overwhelming. Okay. Oh, oh. Ooh, that's a lot fucking stronger than last week. This test might be working. That was 1 pin up, 1 more rep. So, and the form was pretty much identical. So that's a fucking win. That's a fucking win. We're growing. Being really lax on like the whole, you're right, bro. All good. been really lax with the whole like tracking shit recently. Like all my stuff's been really intuitive, and it's obviously hard when I'm traveling to all sorts of different gyms to film with people or for content or for, you know, whatever it may be, training with people. So it's been really tough to track things, and it's just all sort of been intuitive. Haven't really been following the program as well as I could be, but now that we're in the growth phase, I just want to make the most of this time. As I said, I'm extremely goal orientated and I want to make this shit happen. So every session is going to be tracked, you know, adhering to my rest times. On this, I've got something like 2 minutes, I think it is. But yeah, making my best effort. Obviously, I'm still going to go train with people and collab and stuff like that because it's fun and it's important and it's cool for you guys to see as well. But yeah, as much as I can, I just want to fucking grow. So we're going to be tracking, making sure we're overloading, making sure we're keeping form consistent, standardizing, things like that. So yeah. Fuck yeah. 10 reps there. 1 rep down of last set, which is also a good indicator that I did train effectively in that first set. I see a lot of people doing, you know, set to set, they'll match reps. And it's like, obviously you weren't effective in that first set if you're able to match your second set. Just doesn't make sense. The muscle's going to be fatigued. So if you don't see a reduction there, probably a good sign for you to up the intensity next time. And then our next set is the one where we drop the load about 25% and just see how strict and nice we can make it, see how much blood we can get in the chest, making sure we're really contracting the chest. Get some of my intra workout, which I told you guys is, I think it's 10 grams or 15 grams EAAs, 5 grams of glutamine, then we have 50 grams of carbs and 5 grams creatine. So obviously carbs, really important in your training. So if you're, you know, in a diet where you can afford to have an intra-workout drink with carbs, I would highly, highly recommend that. Another important thing though is making sure you have enough time for that pre-workout meal to digest. Otherwise, you're just going to be fucking clogging up your stomach with these carbs as well. If that's digested, your body's clear, ready for these carbs to actually be utilized. Otherwise, you're just making a bit of a traffic jam. I don't know if that's actually facts, but it makes sense in my head. Oh, there we go. Fucking, that was that. That was that rep where you're like, okay, do I have another one? 9 times out of 10, you probably do, unless you're a pussy and you pussy out of it. I was like, do I have another one? Probably. Let's take it. And I got it. So you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, except when it comes to women. 10 out of 10. All right, cool. That's first chest exercise done. I think we move on to a pec fly now. All right, pec fly now. Been sort of struggling, not struggling per se, but really trying to nail the form on this exercise. It's oftentimes I'd feel shoulder, so I found not going to that excessive range has helped a lot. I tend to like go like this, really trying to turn that out like that, squeeze chest. So we'll see how we go here. We'll do one warm-up set. Chest is fucking has heaps of blood in it. So when we're moving from size to exercise, if you train the the same muscle group the one prior, you're not going to have to do a lot of warm-ups. It's just putting out expenditure, using energy for no real good reason. So just getting the movement down pat for this first sort of warm-up set, and then we'll dig into it, trying to keep those form things in mind, obviously, always. Might be a seat adjustment thing, to be honest. Maybe I need to start lower. All right, I think we've figured out this hand position here, so should be a good set. Opted to go the full stack. If form slips, then I'm going to beat myself up for it, but hopefully we can keep it nice. Fuck yeah. All right, those were good. It was a matter of turning this way more. Obviously, keeping that scap spread and driving all through chest, as opposed to this, sort of losing that tension there. So really fucking happy with that set. I think we got 11. I have to count back and log that shit. Make sure we're adhering for the coach, you know. But no, I was happy with that set. So one more there as like a heavy, and then back off set, and we're good. Sweet. Beautiful. All right. One rep down on that second set, which is sort of expected. But no, extremely good set there. Actually felt the pec firing, which is always nice. Obviously, the form was kept as tight as possible, which it always will be. But yeah, 10 reps there. Now we'll drop the load. Honestly, might even go as much as 40% here, just so I can... No, I won't. I'll listen to my coach. Last set, boys. Like I said before, this is a set where we focus on a little bit more cute reps, a little bit more control, making sure it 100% is in that chest. Maybe that last set was like 90, who knows? I mean, I felt it, but let's get it. Oh, oh, oh. Fuck yeah. All right, I think that was 10 again. So matched reps with that other set. Obviously a lot more controlled on that one. But I don't know how to feel, to be quite honest. I feel like sensation-wise, I didn't necessarily get any more out of that set. But it's all right. It was good anyway. Anyway, now we got a incline. No, sorry, it's a shoulder press on the Smith machine. So some of that will be a little bit of upper pec as well, which is sort of nice because I want to grow my chest. But yeah, we'll do like a little bit of a lower incline, not completely upright, and then move on to the rest of our delt work. All right, better sets on these hopefully this week. Last time I just tried to ego lift. I was like, fuck it, I'll send 2 plates. And they moved, but they didn't move that well. So a reduction in load this time. Make sure we're getting some good reps in. Get the tunes going. Really been fucking with the metal or like modern, I don't know what you call it, like the new metal shit as well recently. In the past, I was like, I don't know, I was completely like rap, R&B, sort of whatever was playing on the radio. But I feel like training with metal or like rock or heavier music. All these motherfuckers on the internet saying you don't need shoulder presses. And their argument for that is everyone has overdeveloped front delts because of other pressing. But take a look around the gym, man. Like, I can count on like less than one hand. Like, give me half a hand. Chop all my fingers off, and I still won't be able to count how many people I've seen in the gym with overdeveloped front delts. Like, they just don't. And delts are one of those things you can never really have them big enough. Like, having outstanding delts is gonna sort of make or break your physique, especially when you're stepping on stage. So I think that sentiment is extremely stupid. Just like everything, they sort of rule out these certain exercises because they cross over heaps with other things. And it's like, bro, just lift some weight. Seriously. Grow your delts. You're going to be fine. And if you're scared of getting overdeveloped front delts, it's like when girls say, oh, I want to go to the gym, but I don't want to get too bulky. Trust me, you fucking won't. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I've been trying to do for 5, 6 years, and I'm still small as shit. So chill out. Always keep some bitches on the side, yeah. Won't stand too close, my diamonds from the bottom. I get drugs for the right price, yeah. She gon' eat this money like it dries. I'ma let that look go through my eyes. Say she never had me go night. Oh! I'ma make her say like Kelly. Oh! My eyes, oh no, I've just accumulated way too much fatigue there. Rest of the session's done. Rest of the week's done. Rest of the year might be done there. All right, now we got 2 sets lateral raises. Obviously doing it on the cable. You guys know better sort of tension throughout the whole movement as opposed to dumbbells. In saying that though, I think dumbbells are low key just as effective. This whole like nuance thing, it's like how minor of a difference is going to be, probably very slight. So aim here is keep it nice and controlled. Make sure line of pull is right. Getting it in the lateral delt. Other than that, just fucking move some weight. Don't overcomplicate it. Your delts are going to grow if you lateral raise, so it's not that deep. Oh, very nice. Laterals is one I don't always sort of advocate for partials or half reps or whatever, but laterals is one where I'll literally always take those, those last sort of 2, 3 where I can't get it all the way up. I mean, you're not going to fucking be hospitalized over doing that on a lateral raise. Same with like arm stuff, calf stuff. You'll be fine. You will survive if you do a few partials on these muscle groups. And I think it'll greatly, what's the word I'm looking for? Benefit them. So yeah, 2 more sets here. We got sort of 15. Well, it's 12 plus 3 sort of partials. Oh, fuck. Oh, there we go. 3 sets here. Obviously, that was a massive load reduction for that last set. But yeah, you can see it was a lot slower repetitions, and the sensation sort of reflected that. Like my delts in that last set absolutely fucking fired up. So it's not always how much load you can move, it's how well you can move that load. I move quite small loads now that I started my testosterone journey, but comes with the territory, you know. Also, obviously, guys, I'm showing you all the training I'm doing at the moment, my current programming, how many sets allocated for my sets and stuff, but I don't recommend you guys follow this by any means. I mean, you guys know genetic variance is a huge thing when it comes to programming and stuff like that. So obviously my arms are an extremely strong body part for me. I don't need much volume for them. Hence the fact that I'm doing them once a week, 3 sets biceps, 3 sets triceps. Whereas, you know, if arms are a lagging body part for you, that'd likely have to be 2 times or 3 times that sort of volume allocation or frequency, whatever it may be. So for example, yeah, like my legs, my back, they're my weak points. So I'm doing 2 times a week frequency, and I'm doing a lot more volume, a lot more sets for them. So take inspiration from this. Definitely don't carbon copy it. Just understand why certain things are put in place. You know, things like my programming, my volume allocation and stuff like that. So yeah, little incline dumbbell curl. This is probably one of my favorite bicep exercises, to be quite honest. Just feel stable here, locked in on the bench, and can pin those elbows back, just curl with biceps. So pinkies to the sky is the cue for this one. That phone placement is sus. Fuck yeah. Ooh, beautiful. 2 more sets there, then we'll move on to our triceps. And I think I'll finish this session with, I'll do some calf volume at the end as well, because at the moment I've got 2 times a week calves, but there's no harm in adding, 3 sets today as well at the end of the session. Obviously, it's just going to benefit me. Calves are a small body part. You're on them all day, so I don't think my fatigue's going to be anything crazy. More exposure to the muscle, the higher likelihood it's going to grow. So yeah, grow these little fucking chicken things. Also, obviously, guys, I'm showing you all the training I'm doing at the moment, my current programming, how many sets allocated for my sets and stuff, but I don't recommend you guys follow this by any means. I mean, you guys know genetic variance is a huge thing when it comes to programming and stuff like that. So obviously my arms are an extremely strong body part for me. I don't need much volume for them. Hence the fact that I'm doing them once a week, 3 sets biceps, 3 sets triceps. Whereas, you know, if arms are a lagging body part for you, that'd likely have to be 2 times or 3 times that sort of volume allocation or frequency, whatever it may be. So for example, yeah, like my legs, my back, they're my weak points. So I'm doing 2 times a week frequency, and I'm doing a lot more volume, a lot more sets for them. So take inspiration from this. Definitely don't carbon copy it. Just understand why certain things are put in place. You know, things like my programming, my volume allocation and stuff like that. So yeah, little incline dumbbell curl. This is probably one of my favorite bicep exercises, to be quite honest. Just feel stable here, locked in on the bench, and can pin those elbows back, just curl with biceps. So pinkies to the sky is the cue for this one. Fuck yeah. Ooh, beautiful. 2 more sets there, then we'll move on to our triceps. And I think I'll finish this session with, I'll do some calf volume at the end as well, because at the moment I've got 2 times a week calves, but there's no harm in adding, 3 sets today as well at the end of the session. Obviously, it's just going to benefit me. Calves are a small body part. You're on them all day, so I don't think my fatigue's going to be anything crazy. More exposure to the muscle, the higher likelihood it's going to grow. So yeah, grow these little fucking chicken things. Contrary to what it may seem like, I actually fucking hate training arms. Like, I find it so extremely boring. I would genuinely probably rather train calves than arms. I feel like a lot of people, whatever their strongest sort of body part is, when you start the gym, it's like, this is the best thing ever because it's responding. But when it's been a strong point for so long, you just sort of get sick of it. Like, there's nothing really to strive. Like, there's nothing really to, continue pushing really hard for. Whereas like with my legs, I can go balls to the wall. I'm like, okay, this is the session I'm going to grow my legs finally. Then it never happens. Then I go home and cry, but it's Groundhog Day. So hope that makes sense. All right. The dreaded tricep extension, last upper body exercise today. Honestly, sick to death of doing these, but this is a nice variation. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, a little bit heavy on that first set, surprisingly. That's all right. Drop it next time. Look at the physique after being an absolute fatty bomber recently.